Hi friends, Stephanie here, and welcome back to the second video in this 3-part home reset yoga series. In this video, we are going to crank it up a notch to bring up our heart rate a little and get a little sweaty. We're going to repeat the sequence a few times to achieve that effect. And if your downward facing dog doesn't feel good in the body, be sure to stay till the pose highlight at the end so that you can make this super widely practiced pose in any given yoga class super accessible for your physicality. So when you're ready, let's get started. Alright, so speaking of cardio, this is really what I love about yoga. It's so versatile. You can use it for mostly all purposes. And today I'm going to show you how you can use a yoga sequence and build a cardio workout out of it. So right away, we have, again, a blanket to soften the blow on the knees and find your tabletop position. In this series, we are all going to warm up with tabletop. So again, find your creativity, find your animalistic nature to kind of just roll it out. Honor and listen to your body for what it wants to do right now. There's no right or wrong. Simply just be. There's no wrong way of being yourself, right? Because you just need to be yourself. And then when you're ready, reach the left leg out to the side and then continue this rolling motion over your wrist. And now we're adding onto it with our hips. So remember, first side and the other, clockwise, counterclockwise. We can always strive to find balance. We may never find it, which is fine, but we can always aim to find it. And that's how we find a sense of center to ourselves. And so roll the hips out. You can bend into the left knee a lot so that you can really reach the edge of your own limitations. And when you are ready, second side, left leg in, right leg out to the side. Again, roll hips forward and back to the side, bend into the knee to really roll it out one way or the other. Let yourself really just be in the moment of opening up, arriving on the mat. It's a bit of a cardio workout today, so we are trying to sync up our breath and movement. That's really the biggest challenge. So let's see how we do today. And when you are ready, bring it back and then lift the hips up to your downward facing dog. All right, so a bit of warm-up sequence. Inhale, reach the right leg up towards the sky. And exhale, step it outside of the right hand. Drop the left knee. Reach the fingertips across your chest and reach up to the floor. Open up the chest to the right. Inhale, reach and breathe in. And exhale, maybe find a little bit more space for your hip to sink in. And on your next inhale, plant the palms. Exhale, push the hips up. You can walk the fingertips back underneath your shoulders to really give yourself a bit more support. And then wiggle the hips side to side to open it up one way or the other. And then on your next inhale, step forward into your active squat. You know the drill. Let's just bounce up and down a little bit to find where our hips and our joints are today. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach up, hips forward. Exhale, sit back to your active squat. Inhale, plant the palms, and then step the left and then the right back to your downward facing dog. Amazing work. Second side, inhale, left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step it outside of the left hand. Drop the back knee. Reach the fingertips across your chest as if you're actively opening up to the left side and reach the fingertips up towards the sky. Gaze can be forward or up to the fingertips. Inhale, reach a little taller. And exhale, settle in a little deeper. And inhale, plant the palms, push the hips back up to your extended pyramid pose. Again, walk the fingertips back so that you can really get the gist and get the spine long. And inhale, plant the palms and walk yourself forward into your active squat. Exhale, plant the feet, stand up, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up, hips forward. And exhale, sit back, active squat. Inhale, plant the palms, this time right leg, and then the left. Back to your downward facing dog. Amazing work. And from here, we are going to go a few rounds of Sun Salutation A with and without vinyasa. And if you don't know any of the words, don't worry about it, because you just need to be here, follow along, go with the flow. The names, the terms are very secondary. You don't need to know any of it. Just know that you need to sync up your breath and your movement, because cardio, we are going to do one breath per movement. So when you are ready, on your next inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, and step forward to your active squat. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach up, hips forward. Exhale, sit the hips back to your active squat. Inhale, plant the palms. Exhale, step back to your downward facing dog, whichever leg first. On your next inhale, reach the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, and exhale, step forward. Maybe this time, different leg first. Inhale, reach up to your active squat. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach up to the sky, press the hips forward. Exhale, sit the hips back and low. Inhale, plant the palms. This time, try a different leg back, and then down to your downward facing dog. Amazing work. On your next inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. You can again step forward, or if you want a bit of challenge, gently, lightly hop forward. Active squat. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, plant the palms. Again, you can step it back one at a time, or you can gently shoot it back and land in low plank. And then push the hips up. Downward facing dog. Amazing work. I feel like we can add on a bit of vinyasa to make it a little bit more spicy. So when you are ready, inhale, lift the heels, bend the knee, look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Active squat. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, plant the palms. Again, step or hop back to your low plank. And then complete the push-up. Drop the knees and the elbows. Inhale, pull yourself through upward facing dog. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Amazing work. 2 more rounds just like that. On your next inhale, lift heel, bend knee. Look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Active squat. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sit back. Inhale, plant the palms. Exhale, shoot it back to your low plank. Take a push-up. Drop the knees and the elbows. Inhale, pull yourself through upward facing dog. And exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Last round here. Inhale, lift heel, bend knee. Look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Active squat. Exhale, press to stand. Inhale, reach the arms up, hips forward. Exhale, sit back. Active squat. Inhale, plant the palms. Step or shoulder back, low plank. Take a push-up. Drop the knees and the elbows. Inhale, pull yourself through upward facing dog. And exhale, push back. Downward facing dog. Amazing work. In this down dog, feel free to paddle the feet one at a time. We're going to break down downward facing dog in post highlight portion. So don't worry about it right now. Simply just find your breath. Inhale. And exhale. All right, and from here, simply walk your palms back towards your feet to the back of the mat, and then gently cross the left leg in front of the right, and then walk your fingertips to the left. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. Find a bit of stretch on the right side of the body, and exhale. See if you can find a bit more space to settle in, to sink in. And when you're ready, walk the fingertips back, release the feet, and then right leg in front of the left this time. And then continue walking your fingertips all the way to the right. Inhale, reach, and breathe. And exhale, settle, and let it out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And when you are ready, walk the fingertips back towards the center, release the legs. Last bit of effort, tuck your palms underneath your feet. Reach your toes to where the wrist is naturally creasing, and then bend the elbows to the sides, left and right, so that you can find a bit more deeper stretch in the hamstrings, in the lower back. You can paddle the feet bending to the knees one at a time to really feel the difference, feel the stretch, and then let your upper body naturally release up to the front. Let the neck go, not yes and no, into the head. You can even roll side to side, clockwise, counterclockwise, to really let gravity do its work. So pull it out through the crown of the head. And when you are ready, gently, simply release it. On your next inhale, lift up halfway. Use your zipper, use your upper back to lift up. And exhale, roll it in again. On your next inhale, slowly unravel your spine, one segment at a time. Slowly, slowly, slowly find your Tadasana. Gently close your eyes. Let your body just naturally sway side to side and feel the imbalance in your body. And also observe how your body naturally have the tendency to pull yourself back in the center, because that's just what we do. In times of imbalance, trust yourself that you're able to really bring yourself back in again into Tadasana. And if your breath is still actively going, that's great. Feel the sweat coming down and feel your breath slowly coming back to an organic and relaxing pace. And from here, feel free to drop down onto Shavasana, onto your back, and lay there for about 3 to 5 minutes. Or we can get into the post-highlight portion. All right, so let's talk about downward facing dog. You've probably done it a million times. It's supposed to feel good. It's supposed to make your body feel good. But if it doesn't, if you feel stuck and uneasy in downward facing dog, I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can fix it so that it feels good in your body. So let's get right into it. Find your tabletop and then lift the hips up to downward facing dog. All right, so first thing first is our palms and our shoulders. You want to push firmly into your thumb, index finger, and pinky. And then from there, when you push in, you can find a counterbalance up in the shoulders. So spread the collarbone wide to the side, squeeze into the shoulder blades, and try to slide them towards your tailbone. That way, you can gently lift your ears away from your shoulders, but also gently hug the upper arm in towards your ears. So there's a little space between your ear and your shoulders, but not so much between your upper arm and your ears. And from there, we can bend into the knees. Don't be limited by thinking that you need to reach the floor with your heels. That's definitely not true. You can bend into the knees a lot, so much so that you're almost touching your thigh with your belly. And then from there, we want to push into the thigh bone so that we can lift the hips up. And then from there, you can start trying to reach the heels down towards the floor. If it reaches, perfect. If it doesn't, and it's compromising your tail position, meaning that it's leading your tail pointing downwards instead of upward towards the sky, then lift the heels. We don't need to really touch the heels to the floor. And then this is how you find downward facing dog. And remember, gaze at your toes. And if you like today's sequence, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that when new classes come up, you will be notified. And I hope to see you on the mat next time. Until then, thank you and namaste.